That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're back, and we're still actually watching this terrible basketball team. I'm Kevin Finch Fennell, and I'm going to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers some more. Philadelphia 76ers have lost 3 more games since the last we spoke. We first lost the Milwaukee Bucks by a lot to a little. Then we lost to the Miami Heat, a lot to a little. And then we lost to the Houston Rockets, a lot to a little. And really, it's what we expected. The Sixers aren't going to be good this year. We were going to lose games. I went into this knowing that was going to happen. Everyone watching these games are expecting us to lose, and the Sixers are losing. But we don't want to be negative here while we actually watch the Sixers. It's too easy to be negative. This team's bad at basketball. Let's be positive. Let's talk posy, bro. Let's stop being so sad all the time. So we're going to talk about some positive things going on in the Sixers world right now. We can talk to the Milwaukee game. Nerlens Noel had his first double-double and he looked good doing it. I mean, he was running around. He was jumping. He's so athletic. He's so tall. He's not really that tall. He's just so skinny that it looks weird. And with that buzz top, it's preposterous. But I mean, he doesn't have any offensive moves or anything, but he's still getting to the rim, and that's what he's going to keep doing. I mean, if he turns into Tyson Chandler, and we have Joel Embiid and back behind him, that could be really interesting. And then and we don't even have to. We need to start talking about, if you haven't seen the Nerlens Noel rejection. It was on Deadspin. It was on ESPN as one of the top 3 plays. It was fantastic. I'm gonna find it really quick. Against the Rockets, when we were still in the middle of the game, when we were still almost doing it. See, that's the thing about every game, is that we're going 3 quarters and we're playing really relatively not terrible basketball. We're staying in it. We're staying close with these teams. And then that 4th quarter comes and it is disgusting. If you want to look at our 4th quarter numbers through the weeks, I've written down our 4 4th quarter scores. We've had 18 points in our first game. We had 7 total points against the Milwaukee Bucks in the 4th quarter. 13 total points against the Miami Heat. And 19 total points against the Houston Rockets. We have yet to score 20 points in the 4th quarter as a team. It's not good. Obviously. I can't find it. I don't care anymore. Alright, so, I mean, against Milwaukee, there was at one point where they went 8 solid minutes in the 4th quarter and they didn't score a point. 8 minutes. That's a game they could have won. The Milwaukee Bucks didn't even beat us by that much. And they're not that good. But you can't win if you don't score for 8 minutes. And we're not talking field goals, because it was field goals in the Houston game when we didn't score for 5 minutes in the 4th quarter. In the Milwaukee game, it wasn't free throws, it wasn't a score, it wasn't any points. And it was just stupid 3 after stupid 3. I mean, that's what happens every 4th quarter now, is that the Sixers just start trying to keep in the games. Because they're all so young, they're trying to stay in the games by jacking 3s at the most inopportune times. We can talk about some other positive stuff that happened in the Milwaukee game. Tony Rowan is continually getting to the basket and the foul line over and over and over, and that's exactly what you want to see in this modern day NBA. You want guys that can get to the foul line and that can finish at the rim, and guys that can take 3s. Now, Tony Rowan, of course, cannot take 3s. We don't need to know what he had last year. It was 21% from 3-point line. We don't need to remember that. Just try to forget it. 21%. Try to forget it. That's what he scored from 3-point line. But he gets to the basket, and he's getting to the line. I looked it up today. Tony Rowan, because I did a bunch of stat stuff today, has 36 free throw attempts, which is tied for 6th in the league, with a bunch of guys like Rudy Gay, Kyle Lowry, some of the best players in the league. And that's what I'm saying. He gets to the rim. Of course, he's only made 21 of 36 free throws, for 55%, or as we like to call it, the Dwight Howard level of free throw shooting. So Tony Rowan, please, for the love of God, Learn how to shoot a free throw. That's all I'm asking, man. Just sit there on the line. Dwight Howard doesn't want to do it. Shaq didn't want to do it. Just stand on the line and keep taking them. Eventually, you're going to figure it out, I feel. I never learned how to shoot free throws, but I was not paid any money to ever play basketball. I was not recruited by a college to play basketball. I did not make my high school basketball team. I did theater. That's right. Theater. You should be spending time shooting free throws. You could have been stuck in theater. And then you'd just be sad and alone like I am. But no, you're a Sixer. Shoot some free throws. Learn how to do it. You can't be shooting 55% from free throw line. It's disgusting. He is getting a little bit better at three-pointers. He's 4 for 13 this year. Good enough for 31%. That's better than 21%. I mean, Tony Roden's numbers, when you look at everyone else on the team, I mean, he's by far our best player. He is. Tony Roden is better than Nerlens Noel right now. He's better than Hollis Thompson. He's better than every other player on the Sixers. He's been our star player of the game every game. He had a double-double against Miami. He's our best player. That's enough said. Tony Roden. He's our best player. Right. Oh yeah, if you haven't seen the other thing about the Milwaukee Bucks game, Larry Sanders tried to score for the Sixers at one point and was yelled at by his teammates to stop. It was hilarious. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. Brendan Davies tried another 3-point. I was going to go game by game. We don't have to. We lost to the Bucks. We lost to the Heat. We lost to the Rockets. We lost to them for the same reason. In the fourth quarter, we stopped playing offense, and our not very good defense catches up to us. Because that's the thing we need to talk about. The defense. I don't even know what the scheme is right now. It seems to be 3 6'6" guys, any one of our other tall men, and Nerlens Noel, and just run after people. Because every time, especially, it was so evident when we were playing Miami, we were playing Houston. It wasn't as much with Milwaukee, because Milwaukee isn't very good either. The Sixers are over-rotating on everything. They are just one guy's chasing the ball, then they pass the ball, the next guy chases the ball, they pass the ball, next guy chases the ball, they pass the ball. So there's one guy that's wide open for a three, and he nails it. And Miami was doing it all during the fourth quarter. It was either Chris Bosh just sitting there for a three in the corner. That's why Chris Bosh is as good as he is. He can make that three now. He learned to do it with LeBron because he knew he needed to space the floor. He can make that three. You can't just let him have him wide open because you're all chasing after the ball. I mean, the Rockets constantly were doing that, just leaving Harden open for the three. James Harden, he's one of the 5 best players in the league. Yeah, he's fine. Keep rotating after the next guy. And it's going to keep happening. There doesn't seem to be a defensive scheme, which is really falling into a problem when you don't have offense to withstand it. Like everyone's going for steals, which is fine. Nerlens Noel has some of the best hands in the league for as big as he is. That's what makes Nerlens Noel such an interesting prospect. He goes for steals. Tony Rowan is way out there trying to get steals. KJ McDaniels is trying to get steals. I mean, Tony Rowan has 12 steals this year. Nerlens Noel has 8 steals this year. I mean, this very small sample sizes, obviously. It's only been 4 games, but that's 3 steals a game for Tony Rowan. 5 steals for KJ McDaniels, 5 steals for Brandon Davies. These guys are just trying to make things happen because they're young kids and they're trying to show that that's what defense is. But that's not what defense is. Every time we go for a steal, that's just leaving some guy wide open and screwing up the rotation, and you can't do splits. And it just keeps showing up at the end of these games where teams are just getting wide open threes. The Sixers are coming back trying to get threes, and clank, 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 clank. I went play-by-play for the first game where we just lost it. All right, some more. So right now I just want to do a little thing, because this is really what the Sixers season is all about. Is this player a rotation player in the NBA? That's what we're trying to find out. We have Nerlens Noel, 9 other guys, and Michael Carter-Williams whenever he comes back. And newsflash, no one knows when he's coming back. So we have Tony Roten. Is he a rotation player in the NBA? Probably. He's not. He's never going to get as many minutes as he is getting right now, the way he's playing. Like, he has very good... He has good eyes. I mean, he has extremely good perception of the court, but he has turnover problems. He has 27 assists to 18 turnovers, which is not what you want from a point guard. But a lot of his turnovers are just dumb. He's got good rebounding numbers. And he gets, like I've been saying every time, that he gets to the rim. Guy just goes and goes at the rim. It was dumb against the Pacers when Hibbert was there. It wasn't the best against the Rockets, but he's getting to the line on top of it, and that's exactly what Harden does. And I've been saying this over and over, is that I like how Tony Roten kind of looks like Harden sometimes, and he does the Euro step. But I mean, he could probably come off the bench for, I would say, most teams in the NBA at this point. I mean, there's the easy ones you'd come off the bench for. I mean, OKC, Orlando, Boston, Utah, Denver. Like, he would get minutes for these teams. Would the Spurs put him into a rotation spot right now? Probably not. He doesn't shoot the ball the way they need him to shoot the ball, and they don't need somebody to do interesting things. They have Patty Mills. They have plenty of playmakers. I don't even think Patty Mills is on the team. Just strike that. But I mean, they have Tony Parker. They have Manu. Like, they don't need somebody. So would he play for the Spurs? Probably not. Can we trade him for a prospect or a pick, which is probably what we're really going to do with anyone that could be a rotation player in the National Basketball League? We're trying to figure out if we can trade people to get more people, because we don't need to be good this year. And that's why you got guys like KJ McDaniels, who I really like. KJ McDaniels, if you don't know, signed a one-year deal, just like Lavoy Allen did a couple of years ago. Signed a one-year deal because he believes that if he plays hard enough, he gets the minutes he's going to get with this team and not with any other team, that he can go into free agency next year and get a much better deal instead of signing 3 years here after he got drafted. Zach Rowe has a whole article about it on Grantland. Zach Lowe also tweeted yesterday about how he likes KJ McDaniels' 3-and-D possibility. So do I, because the kid's everywhere. KJ McDaniels has really, really good hops. If you haven't seen his dunks, they are all amazing. And he's shooting some threes for a little accuracy too. Right now he's 6 for 11 for threes, 55%. Looks good. He's not getting to the line, and when he does, he's not making free throws. But that all has to do with going 1 for 5 in one game, and he's 4 for 10 in the year. Like I said, small sample sizes, but you got to look at it. What we have. This is the information we have about KJ McDaniels. He hasn't done anything else. These are his first 4 games in the NBA. He looks good right now. He's got 5 blocks. He got the second most amount of blocks on the team behind Noel, and he's 6'6" point guard, shooting guard, small forward. Because I mean, you can't go by height, by what player plays what position. We have Alexi Sved, Michael Carter-Williams, KJ McDaniels, Chris Johnson. They're all 6'6". Hollis Thompson 6'8" and is our designated shooting guard. What? Okay, whatever. So is KJ McDaniels a rotation player? He could be. He's one of the guys that's very interesting because he is shooting well and he's fast. He's running around like nobody's business. He's hustling. That's what I like about watching him play. He's hustling. He's got such ups. He had a putback dunk against the Bucks. It was great. He's had a couple alley-oops. Been very nice. Alexi Sved. Alexi Sved, is he a rotation player? I don't know if I'm just watching Alexi Sved at the perfect times, because every time I watch him, and I've been watching every minute, he looks good, except his numbers are not very good. I mean, he's only made 9 shots this year out of 31 attempts. He's getting to the line. He's got 18 free throws and 89%. He's always been a free throw shooter. He's not hitting threes, which is what he needed to do to be the European guy that he is. I mean, he came to this league so he had such playmaking abilities and he had a nice shot. I mean, that was supposed to be his calling card in this league, was his shooting ability, his playmaking. Like, he's not very good on defense. He's got 16 assists, 7 turnovers, which is nice. He doesn't have any rebounds for his height. And like I say, he's shooting 36% from 3-point percentage. I like him. I think he could play on most teams. You could see him being on a team like the Spurs and him just remaking his shot like they did Danny Green, and him being impeccable, or just going someplace like that. He could probably be a rotation player if he keeps playing the way he's playing and you keep seeing some of the assists that he's getting, because he's getting really nice, not decent assist numbers, but even prettier assists to watch, which is something that could spark up interest in Shved and could make him a trade asset and get another second-round draft pick. God knows we need him, because I was talking about this with my uncle, is that what really makes the Spurs and Houston and all these elite teams elite is that they're hitting on second-round draft picks. They're making players that they have control over, and for little money, they're making them actually rotation players and then trading them. Making assets, getting rid of assets to help the exact future when you need to help the exact future. Right now, Hinkie doesn't need to build for now. So making Alexis Ved and KJ McDaniels and Chris Johnson rotation players is not for the immediate future. It's for using that to package together with a draft pick or a couple second-round draft picks and getting something that will help the immediate future when we need to help the immediate future. Or we can trade them for second-round draft picks, which we can keep trying to make more rotation players. Maybe we'll hit on one of them, and it'll be Chandler Parsons. Chandler Parsons was such an amazing trade chip that Houston just neglected for 2 years, that when he left this year, it was such a crazy thing. But he was making such little money the last 3 years and doing such good work as an NBA player. Why wouldn't you keep him? But moving on, let's look at more of these guys. Brandon Davies, here's an example. Brandon Davies is an undrafted. He's a second-year player. He's a power forward from BYU. He's 6'10". I had never heard of him before this. What they said on ESPN Insider about his future is that he has no offensive ability. Well, that's nice. And he needs to be a good rotation. To ever be a rotation player, he has to work on his quickness and his rebounding. And to be fair, he's got very little rebounding skills. He's only got 13 rebounds through 4 games, but his non-threes have been very good. Against Miami. If you didn't read Hoop 76's blog about how this is the beginning of the Brandon Davies era, he was destroying Miami. He ended up with 18 points on 92% shooting. Right now on the year, if he's not shooting a 3, he is 15 for 24 and scoring at 63% of his shots. And with guys like that in the league are Derek Favors, Roy Hibbert, guys that, they're not minuses on offense, even though Roy Hibbert is, but good, steady shooting inside 3 feet and having a little interesting flares in your game. And Davies is he's got a nice little 15-footer he's been working on. Of course, what's his problem right now is that he's trying to go from 24 feet as he continues to try to take threes, disgusting ones. He took one against the Bucks that was clank. He took one in the first game of the season that was nothing but air. Right now, he's got 2 for 8. He hit one in Miami because for some reason in Miami, everything he shot went in. It was amazing. He had such a good game. If you haven't seen his highlights, check it out. He just scored a bunch, and it gave him a start the next game against Houston, where he took another 3 and made it, and then missed one. So right now, he's 2 for 8 on the season, 25%. He does not need to take those shots, but he is. But he's trying to make himself into a stretch 4 because that's the only way he could be helpful in this league. And so that's another thing that's interesting about this team is that, and they interviewed Billy Cunningham during the Miami game. And if you don't know Billy Cunningham is one of the best Sixers in the 60s. Became coach of the Sixers in the 70s and led the Sixers to the NBA championship in 1983 was the coach for the 1983 Sixers that won the championship. He's a great player. It's called the Flying Kangaroo. And he was talking. They had an interview with him. If you hadn't watched the game or watched them, and he was talking just about the opportunities for some of these players that they wouldn't be able to get them in any other place. It's just so interesting to watch, where you get to see a chance for Brandon Davies, who would not get minutes like anywhere but D League. And even in D League, he would be forced to do exactly what they had to work with the players that were coming down from the teams. He had to work with their two coaches. He wouldn't get to be experimental with his game as he is right now against actual NBA players. And so he's trying moves. He did that hook shot in the first game. He's doing these turnarounds. And, of course, he's trying to hit threes. He's trying to force himself in game situations to be a stretch four. And that's what makes watching these games more interesting and not as excruciatingly painful, which it can be, and it can be really boring. It's just watching these players trying to play up to the talent of the other teams, and it's just so obvious they don't have it. Like Dwayne Wade is just so much better than any Sixer. So much, and still, and it always has been. Chris Bosh just towering over people. James Harden had such like an easy game against the Sixers. Like, he didn't even have to try on defense, and God knows he didn't, because he's James Harden. He doesn't try on defense. He didn't have to against the Sixers. Just like a nice, easy 36-point game. I'm James Harden. But all right, moving on. So we talked about Brandon Davies. Is he a rotation player? Probably not. Could he turn into one? It's possible. He doesn't look 6'10". That's the thing about any of these guys. None of them look that tall. Like, even Noel doesn't look tall compared to, like, Howard. And Howard's not even that tall. Like, none of these guys look... And maybe it's because they're all the same size. Every one of the Sixers is between 6'6" and 6'11". It's preposterous. I don't know why it happens. Hollis Thompson. Here's another guy. He's 6'8". Did you know Hollis Thompson was 6'8"? I didn't know Hollis Thompson was 6'8". He's got second most minutes on the team behind Tony Ruin. He's shooting 38% from the field. He's got 4 free throw attempts, and he's made 6 of 16 three-pointers for 38%, which is not bad, I guess. He led rookies last year in three-point percentage with 40, which Mark Zumoff keeps bringing up. But, I mean, you can't forget that the rookie class last year was terrible. But 40% is not bad. Other than that, I mean, I haven't seen anything from Hollis Thompson that says he could play on a rotation for anyone else in this league. He's got 8 assists in 4 games, 10 rebounds. And he's getting lots of minutes. Lots of minutes and showing very little from it. Chris Johnson, he's getting a bunch of minutes too. Haven't seen anything from him. Could he play it? I mean, he was in Boston's rotation last year before he got cut. When we happily picked him up, because why not? I mean, 4 of 16 from threes, 4 free throw attempts, 32% from field goal range. He's got 99 minutes. But here's the bright spot. He is the only Philadelphia 76er who's getting minutes. I looked at all 10 rotation players right now with a positive plus minus. He's got 1. He's +1 on plus minus. So, hooray for Chris Johnson. Does that mean he's the best defender we have? I don't know. I don't know what plus minus really means. I mean, I know what it means. But tell me, I don't know. Luke Richard Mabalamute. I mean, Mabalamute, he's supposed to be this D. I remember him when he was this D guy. He was just such a lockdown defender. He was so big. He could cover big guards, the big small forwards, the power forwards. He was strong enough. I don't know where that is now. I mean, I didn't see him all last year. He was on Sacramento Kings for a little bit, and then he went to the T-Wolves and the Derek Williams trade. And I mean, I don't see any good defense. He's got the worst plus minus on the team with -40. He's got 6 assists and 7 turnovers, no blocks, 2 steals. He's 2 for 7 from threes. For 29%, and he's 10 for 24 from the field. Hey, that's not terrible. It's just not very good. So I think this is the end for Mabalamute. If he's gone with the Sixers and he doesn't look like he's even worthy to give minutes to. He's He's the oldest Sixer, I think. I don't have proof of that. He's been in the league longer than anyone else I saw. Ugh. Henry Sims. I mean, he's tall. He went to Georgetown, which is usually good enough to be a starter in the NBA. And he was before. He's not starting anymore. He already lost his starting job. Davies took over. Davies started the last game against the Rockets. Sims went to the bench. So it was Davies, Noel, Roten, Thompson, Johnson, I believe. Actually, I think Johnson's back to the bench, is at the bench, and Mbah Mute started those 2 games. So, I mean, Henry Sims is on the bench. Let's look at his numbers. 41% from the field, 6 free throws, 20 rebounds in 4 games, so 5 rebounds a game. He's tall. He doesn't seem to be terrible on defense. He's got the 3rd best. Okay, let's just go through the plus minuses for everyone. Tony Rowan has a -18 for the 3rd best on the team. Chris Johnson has 1. He's got the best plus minus, +1. Tony Rowan's got Henry Sims has a -17 plus minus for 2nd best on the team. Rowan -18 for 3rd best. Brandon Davies -21 for 4th best. So I mean, all of the plus minuses are bad. So I mean, we've lost every game where everyone's in the minus. So you can take any of these with a grain of salt, but the worst on the team is Mbah Mute. The best is Chris Johnson. Sims has the 2nd best, like I said. No assist, no 1 block, couple of rebounds. He's not getting to the line. No one's getting to the line, but Rowan. Rowan's got 36 free throw attempts. The next best is 18. He's doubled free throw attempts from the 2nd best player. Gotta get to the line in this league. Gotta get to the line, and you gotta hit threes, and we're not hitting threes at all. Our best 3-point shooter is KJ McDaniels with 55%, but he's only taken 11. Hopefully he'll take more. I really like KJ McDaniels. He's only got 81 minutes. He should probably be getting more minutes than Chris Johnson. And Hollis Thompson. But, I mean, once again, 4 games in. I'm being a little nitpicky. Sorry, Brett Brown. I'm patient. Couldn't be a doctor because I got no patience. And then Malcolm Thomas. He's played in the league longer than I thought. He's played in the league. And his best trait right now, he is the only Sixer that has successfully worked the pick and roll. Him and Shved have done the pick and roll a couple of times, and it's obvious that they've played in the NBA and understand what a pick and roll is. Other players, not so much. Malcolm Thomas, hey. So, I mean, he's got 61 minutes. He's not playing that much. He's 20 rebounds, 61 minutes. It's as many rebounds as Henry Sims has. So maybe Malcolm Thomas has some interesting traits in him. So is Malcolm Thomas Henry Sims a rotation player for anyone else? Probably not. Is Malcolm Thomas? Probably not. Mbah Mute? Probably not. Chris Johnson? Probably not. Hollis Thompson? Possibly. He's 6'8", and he supposedly can shoot threes. I mean, 38's not bad. Maybe I'm just being a little harsh on Hollis Thompson, but he just hasn't seen much. Brandon Davies? Probably not. KJ McDaniels? Maybe. Like you said, maybe. Tony Rowan? Probably. Probably could be, yeah. So, I mean, that's almost 4.5 players that could play in the rotation on other teams. That's not bad. And then there's Nerlens. Last but not least, there's Nerlens. 125 minutes. He's shooting 44% from the field. Can't expect much. He's trying to shoot from a little bit longer just to see what his range can be. He's not getting to the line. He's only made 2 of his 6 free throws. That's going to come back. If we ever got into a close game in the 4th quarter, which we have not yet, and it's come down to free throw shooting, I have no idea what would happen. No one Shved shoots 3 throws very well. Everyone else, not so much. But we also, like I said before, no one's taking any. And there's been no reason for urgency because we've never gotten into a situation where we're going back and forth to the foul line. They couldn't do Hack and Noel because what would be the point? We've never been that close. Every time in the 4th quarter, we have just stopped playing offense and the other team went on a run and we lost. Noel's got 20. He's got the most rebounds on the team. He's got the most blocks on the team. He's got the third most assists on the team. I don't know what that means. That's not bad. He's got 10 assists in 4 games, which just shows you that we're not really assisting the ball back and forth. It's pretty much Sved and Roten. But we're also missing our starting point guard. MCW is going to come back eventually, someday, hopefully. So, yeah, that's our team, player by player. There's a couple other guys, they were getting a couple of minutes. I didn't feel like looking at them because this is already 10 players before we get MCW back. So somebody here is probably either going to get cut, traded, or is going to stop getting minutes. It looks like right now it's going to be Malcolm Thomas, but who knows? Because we're not going to do 11-man rotation, are we? 11? That seems like too many people. We're already doing a 10-man rotation. It seems like too many people, and none of them are very good. Yeah, so the Sixers aren't very good. We knew that, but I'm still going to keep watching them. I want to talk to people about them. I enjoy a lot of things. I love the way KJ McDaniels is playing. I like watching Alexei Zved. He sees the court. He does goofy things. He's so tiny, skinny, and white. Tony Roten, I love when he gets to the... I love watching him from the floor. He's going coast to coast doing these things. It's just that we can't shoot threes and we can't play D. And that's kind of an issue. The good news is, tonight, Wednesday, the 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November. Sixers play the Orlando Magic. That has a possibility of a win. That's right. The Philadelphia 76ers could win tonight. After that, the possibilities of winning could be a while. So we got the Magic, the Bulls, and depending on if Noah or Rose play, hey, that's relatively even. And by relatively even, we probably still won't win. But hey, let's keep it positive. We got Toronto coming in on Sunday, or actually we're going to Toronto. Then it's Dallas, Houston, San Antonio. I don't think that's going to go well. Oh God, we're going to Texas next week. Going to Texas next week. That's not going to be pretty. Just FYI, it's not going to be a fun couple of episodes for the podcast if we do a couple. I want to be back for tomorrow. I want to watch the Orlando game. I want to watch it because we might be winning. If we win, I'll definitely be back tomorrow. If we don't, who knows? So yeah, that's pretty much another episode of Actually Watching the Sixers, where I'm going to keep actually watching the Sixers. You can email me at actuallywatchingthesixers@gmail.com. You can tweet at me at Kevin_Shamus, SEAMUS on the Twitter. Other than that, I'm just going to keep watching Sixers. I want to keep talking to you about them. Anybody else saw Billy Cunningham? It was pretty cool. He's a good guy. Alright, thanks so much. See you guys.